This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so I just wanted to welcome everybody here. Thank you for coming. As you can see, I'm actually able to moderate now. Look at that. um, yeah, some of you know, but actually most of you guys know by now. I was actually positive for coronavirus, so I was kind of out of it for a little while. But for the most part, I'm back. Uh, Another thing I could say, I kicked its butt. But other than that, I just wanted to. I see we have some new people here, and I see Chasta joined us. Hi, Chasta. All right, and so I'm gonna just go over really quickly. If you're not talking, could you please make sure that you mute yourself? This way, we don't get any background noise. It makes it a little bit easier for all of us. And if you do want to talk, I will give you time to talk. I will, when I have you introduce yourself, if you have anything that you want to say, just let me know you do, and then I'll come back to you and make sure you have enough time to talk and say whatever you need to say. All right. The way I'm going to start this, I'm going to start with the new person, Greg. Why don't you tell us about yourself? Give us like a minute synopsis. When you were diagnosed, where you live, just little things like that. And if you do have anything that you want to ask or a comment on, let me know. And like I said, I'll call you back.
Okay. Well, like you said, my name is Greg. I'm from York, Pennsylvania. I was diagnosed with neurosarcoidosis. I have it in my lymph nodes, and where else do I have it? Sorry, my wife is off screen. um, in my lungs, in my lymph nodes, in my brain. It's also in my heart. Um, about a year ago, I was diagnosed with all that. Um, that's pretty much my story. I'm not really that exciting of a person. Oh yeah, so I was gonna take one of my earphones out. I had a stroke about a year ago, and that was maybe caused by the sarcoidosis, maybe not. They're not sure. They may never know.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm sorry. Well, welcome aboard. Did you have anything that you wanted to comment on later or ask questions about later?
No, not really. I was planning
Okay,
on just kind of hanging out and seeing how you guys do everything, and might
sure,
might become more active at a future meeting.
no problem. All right, and then ask, I'm gonna have Chasta jump in here.
Hey, I'm sorry I'm late, y'all. I had something else that I had to do. So hey to everybody. Usually everybody's used to seeing me on the other side of this. So Frank, thanks for stepping up and all that good stuff. I probably won't be on long tonight, but I am gonna stay as long as I can. But hi, Greg, welcome, and everybody who I haven't spoken to in a while. I hope everybody's doing okay. Everybody's doing well. I miss you guys. I love you guys. 15 years in, COVID-19 cannot take us out. On my death certificate, it better say sarcoidosis. I've done too much to let COVID be the reason why I die. So that's just how I feel about that. So I'm going to do everything I can to take precaution to make sure that regardless of what the world is doing, what the governors and presidents and everybody else is saying, that I do my part and make sure I take care of me. I can't worry about anybody else. So that's just how I'm taking on that precaution and taking that attitude moving forward. So again, y'all know me. I'm always a click and a phone call away. If you need anything, if it's anything I can do to help anybody, just let me know. Was I supposed to say something specific, Frank? Okay,
that's about it.
gotcha. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, just so you know, Chester is one of the moderators. Just since like Greg is new, so he knows. Also, so if you ever have any questions, Chester, myself, Kathleen is also a moderator, and there are plenty others that just couldn't make it today. But if you ever have a question, there's also a Facebook moderator group. I mean, Facebook Sarcoidosis online group. So if you want to join that, you're more than welcome to join that. And Dorothy, how about yourself?
Okay. Hey, I'm doing well. So kind of like Shasta, I'm just taking care of myself, and I actually have been self-isolated since March 11th. So except for a few car rides, but no, I'm doing good, and hopefully trying to avoid the coronavirus. So, but it is good to see everyone tonight. I'll tell you, I was needing some sarcoidosis connection. So I'm actually really looking forward to. I saw where John Carlin did a interview with Dr. Bauman and just posted that. So I'm anxious to look at that tonight. So
Yeah, I saw that too. I haven't looked at it yet, but yeah, I definitely want to look at that too. James, are you back?
I am back. Shall I go? Okay.
Go for it.
So I'm from San Francisco, as I said, and I've been joining this group for the last couple months and found it just invaluable. Basically, I have sarcoidosis in some of my organs, and particularly my heart, and that's what I'm being treated for. I am about half a year into prednisone, about half dosage, which is not much nicer than when I started. And last week on the call, I asked everybody about methotrexate and got some really good feedback because I was going to talk to my doctor the next day, who wanted to put me on a high dosage of that. And I managed to convince him to wait a little while till I got through some more of the prednisone, and then we're going to do a PET scan and see how things are progressing. So, like I said, this is such a valuable resource. It's not, I have a really good doctor and he's done a marvelous job, but it's always nice to have a second source on these things. And everybody was so forthcoming, and I just wanted to thank, well, actually nobody's here that, I don't think anybody's here that spoke up last week, but regardless, except for Frank, but regardless, that information is just invaluable. So it made me so much more confident on the call and informed. So that's it for me.
Okay. Well, I'm glad we were able to help you. I do, like with everything else, I always say, because we are snowflakes, everybody is different. So just take the advice that we give, but also don't be afraid to try for yourself for some things. Just because what may work for you may not work for me, and vice versa. There's a lot of drugs that unfortunately didn't work for me, but I know that they have worked for a lot of other people. So just be careful. Don't want to take all the bad, because there are some people who have done great with methotrexate. Some people who have done. I mean, like for me, I actually was doing great. If my stomach would have hung on, I would have been great. So, but yeah, I'm glad you're here.
I think that's good advice, and I just want to let you know I didn't have anything. I didn't speak ill of methotrexate. It's just that I wanted to get a data point before I changed everything, and that goes to your notion about everybody's different, and yeah. Okay.
I agree with getting the data points. I do that a lot. I always ask everybody's opinion, because even if I decide that I'm going to take it for myself, at least I can kind of see what some of the side effects will be. It does help a lot with that. So I mean, that's it is, and it's also great to ask a patient how it works because they're the ones who actually deal with it more than, I mean, the doctor deals with it, but he doesn't deal with the side effects as much. All right. So Wendy, are you here? Wendy, I heard you before. Okay. Debbie, are you here?
Yeah, yes. How's everyone doing tonight? Um, I I appreciate this group because I thought I was out here alone and no one else had what I had and what I was going through. So this group is really helping me and informing me about a lot of different things that I was going through. Kathleen, I'm gonna call you this week, but I didn't want to call you because you wasn't feeling that well, and I did not want to bother you. But when the best time to call you, Kathleen? Can you hear me?
I can. I'm sorry. I clicked my camera instead of my microphone. What could I tell you? It's going to be one of those nights. So, Debbie, anytime after like 10, 11 o'clock, and even when I'm not feeling well, you are more than welcome to call me. Okay? It's not a big deal. Frank knows we talk even when we're not 100%, even when we're not even 25%, we still talk to everybody. So, anytime.
I really appreciate this group because I'm noticing so many like mood changing, ankles. I have it in my lungs, and I developed sarcoidosis from 9/11. So I go to NYU in New York, but right now I can't even see my doctor because due to the epidemic, everyone's pulled from his office. His office is closed. So I really don't have anyone to talk to about what my condition is right now. So I don't feel as much as alone as I usually do because I have this group to talk to. And I know Frank is there also. If I have any questions, I can call Frank and email him to ask him any questions. So Kathleen, I will be texting you, okay?
Of course. Please.
Okay.
Anytime.
Okay. Thank you. Enjoy your day, everyone. I'll be here listening.
Okay. So, Kathleen, I guess since you've been talking, why not talk some more?
Okay. And I believe that Caprice may have just made it in. So as a caller, do you want to check on that, Frank? You want to call? You want to ask?
Caprice, is that you or anybody calling? Who just came in? Every time a caller comes in, I've had a hard time with them calling in. Wendy was the only one who called in and was able to speak, but now she's not able to.
Okay. So hi, everybody. My name is Kathleen. I'm a moderator as well with Frank and Shasta and May. Okay, now I'm unmuted. Hi, everybody.
Yeah.
I'm Kathleen. We will try this for take two. I am a moderator as well and an ambassador with everybody else that's wonderful in this group. I've had sarcoidosis for 11 years. Unfortunately, I've been in some massive flares since we've hit the coronavirus. I do not have the coronavirus. I have it, let's see, lungs, lymph nodes, joints, bones, liver, heart, neurological. I don't know that there's much more else. I don't have it in my eyes or my kidneys as of yet. So I'm always here as well with Frank to reach out to anybody that needs it. So thanks, Frank.
You're
Hi, can
welcome.
anybody hear me?
Yes, who's that?
Kathy.
Caprice.
Caprice. Okay. Hi, Caprice. How are you?
Hi, all right. And you, who's Kathy? Hi,
Kathy's right
who is
here.
this
I'm here.
speaking?
That was Frank.
Thanks for trying to help
Hi,
me get on. Hi.
anytime.
How's
Anytime.
everybody doing this evening?
Good.
Okay, y'all can go ahead and finish out. I'm glad I made it on this.
Yes, I'm glad you were able to as well.
All right, Caprice, I'm gonna ask you just to tell us within like a minute of like who you are, where you're from, and when you were diagnosed.
Okay, I'm Caprice Bateman. I'm from, I live in Freeport, New York. I was diagnosed in 2013, and I have it in I had it in my lungs. I still have it. It moved to my heart now, so I had to get a pacemaker with a defibrillator in October. And I'm doing okay. So far I'm doing okay. And I'm taking prednisone. That's the only thing I'm taking.
Okay, well, welcome aboard. Glad you're able to
Thank
make it.
you. Thank you. I am too.
All right, so Wendy, can you are you able
Frank,
to
can you
speak?
hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Hello. I'm glad you're doing so much better.
Thank you. Would you let everybody know who you are, where you're from, and like when you were diagnosed?
My name is Wendy Schleier, and I'm from Rochester, New York, which is upstate New York, about an hour and a half away from Buffalo. I got diagnosed in December of 2019 with
Okay.
neurosarcoid, thyroid sarcoid, and I've got it in inflammatory in my lungs.
Okay. Did you have
Lymph node
anything
as well.
special? Did you have anything special that you wanted to speak about today, just so I know I could call on you in a couple of minutes?
Well, I was really concerned about not receiving any income, but today was a good day. I found out that I will be getting the $1,000 from Trump
Okay.
because I was really worried because I wasn't getting it. But you know, I did do my appeal for Social Security disability. The thing is that I'm really trying to advocate for us because I really think in my mind that they will find some cure. Maybe because of this COVID thing that's going on, because it hits everybody, you know, in their, it's inflammatory, and I think that, you know, somebody might find something that even though it is even if it's a snowflake disease, we all have some sort of inflammation. Am I correct?
Correct on finding a cure. That's a tough one because they haven't even been close, unfortunately. Um, I'm not saying that they're not working on it. Actually, there's a couple of like there's something in Alabama that's really working hard on something, and there's a couple of things overseas that are working hard, but unfortunately they're not that close. And because of this disease, the COVID pandemic, a lot of people are not working on what they were working on right now. Everybody's like all hands on deck working on trying to find a cure for COVID at this point. So the clinical trials, they are still trying to get people. I've seen a couple of emails of different places looking to get people for clinical trials, but will they start before this pandemic ends? I don't know. I'm not going to say yes. I'm not going to say no. I haven't heard anything one way or the other. But one of the hardest things, and I'm not trying to be, Debbie Downer or whatever you want to call it. Our disease, because not so many people have it, and of course, because not too many people have it on their death certificates, it is not a profitable disease to actually do a clinical trial for. So that's why FSR, does what they do to try to break the gap from what the government is actually giving people to actually give clinical trials. They're trying to bridge the gap money-wise. So I'm not, like I said, they're not. It's not that they're not trying. There are, but there aren't as many people as in some of the major diseases, whether it be Parkinson's or cancer or one of the major diseases. But like I always say, the best thing about this is that I've had this disease for 9 years now. January was 9 years. Yeah. In the 9 years, it's like night and day, and I'm sure Chester and Kathleen can tell you the same thing, and Dorothy. We know we've been working with FSR for a while, and it is like night and day of what they know, and the trials they're doing. Even I guess it was like a couple of it was before the pandemic. Kathleen and I were kidding around about how many clinical trials there are. And Kathleen looked it up. There was, what, 200? Something like that, Kathleen? I forget.
Yes, and that was just for sarcoidosis.
Yeah, so it's over 200 clinical trials for sarcoidosis. You want to know how many there were when I was there? When I first looked on it, I saw one. That was 9 years ago. And then maybe a couple of months later, I saw 4. And then, but literally, from 9 years, we're going up in hundreds. So there are a lot of good things to look forward to. It's not, and like I said last week, or last meeting, and people that were here will understand this, is that the one thing about I've always said is that your mind, is very important when it comes to this disease. Yes, we're all sick. Yes, we're all going to be in pain. Yes, but your mind can tell you either, to let go or not to. And if you fight, like I was saying, I could say I still have some symptoms left of coronavirus, but not major at all, except the lungs. But that I was actually told that actually could be an after effect, because I had sarcoidosis. But most of my symptoms of coronavirus are gone. Well, if you heard before this, how many people thought when you got coronavirus and you had sarcoidosis, you were dead?
A lot.
Oh yeah. So, I can honestly say I'm not dead. Didn't even go to the hospital. Should I have gone to the hospital some days? Like I said, maybe. But unfortunately, in New York, going to the hospital is not a good idea right now.
Exactly.
So I chose, and my doctors chose, that if I could stay out of the hospital, that was the best bet for me, and it worked. There was like I said, there was a day. I said this last week, so I don't have a problem saying this, and my wife can vouch for this. She actually stayed up all night watching me because I was having trouble breathing, and
Wow.
it was either do that or go to the hospital. It calmed down the
And
next day.
you didn't have a CPAP machine or anything?
Oh, I do have a CPAP, but for me, it was actually, it felt like there was, I couldn't even say an elephant. It felt like something like was just crushing my lungs. And
Oh my God.
so it was just, I was sitting up, I couldn't breathe. I was laying down, I couldn't breathe. I finally got to the point where I think part of it was also anxiety. I started to get too anxious, so that didn't help matters. So I was able to calm myself down, and then I did fall asleep. And then, but I asked my wife, she didn't sleep that night. So, but like I said, things are not always a death sentence, whether it be sarcoidosis, whether it be coronavirus. Like Chester said, Corona's not going to take me down. I always say I'm too stubborn. And like Rodney said last week, it's not my time, and hell doesn't want me. Or they're afraid of me, I think.
Rodney said, God's not ready and hell doesn't want me.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, God's not ready for me and hell doesn't want me.
Yeah, exactly. So, so, so Wendy, when it comes, will we find one? I'm hopeful. But I'm also realistic. I hope we do. but we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Can I say something
Yeah,
about that also?
go ahead.
Wendy, on the lines of finding a cure, I've always said, to me, personally, I'm doing everything I can while I'm alive to propel that cure forward, even if I don't see the cure in my lifetime, in my lifespan. At least I've done enough to help bring that cure forward if and when it comes. So as long
Yeah.
as you're doing, even if they don't have a cure before you leave this earth, do everything you can as an individual who's living with the disease to make sure that the cure can still come about, even if you're not here to witness it.
Yeah, and
Okay.
I was talking to Kathleen about it today because I had a really, I don't know, I'm stepping down on my prednisone a little bit. I put me down to 15. I don't know if my emotions are a little bit, but going a little goofy. But I've been posting a lot about sarcoidosis on my Facebook because, for one thing, I have a huge family, but what I'm getting from other people is I get some really nice support, but some of the closest people to me, I'm getting some backlash.
Mm.
Have you guys had that? It is so, like you're feeling sorry for yourself. Stop posting
It's
stuff.
I always
um
I always say that. Sorry, but I always say that people always fear the unknown, and so
Hmm.
unless they really understand it and live it, they will never they really won't understand it totally.
True. True.
That's
So
true. I get that. And, I agree with Frank wholeheartedly. And I'll add to that and say I'm 15 years in, and I still have people who ask me to this day, what is sarcoidosis? And y'all know I post like bananas. And,
Mm.
15 years in until this day, I've come to the point to where you have to accept the fact that some people just don't want to know. Some
yeah,
people don't want to support. Some people just don't want to be involved. You have to be comfortable with that.
Hmm.
That goes back to your mind. You have to be okay with the people who don't want to be involved. Your main focus
Right.
should always be number one on yourself, and number two on the people who
Hmm.
are actually stepping up and want the knowledge of what sarcoidosis is, how you live with it, and who they can be to you, and making sure that your life is easier, better, and comfortable. So you can't, if you give too much energy to the people who don't, then you're going to be stuck in this rut forever. 15 years
Thank
in,
you so much.
and it took me maybe year number 9
Thank
or
you.
10 to get that. So, you have to make up in your mind when you're comfortable enough to do it, make up in your mind, I'm not focused on anybody who's not focused on me, period.
Thank
exactly.
you.
I agree. You can't spend your time worrying about what others think about you. You know what you have. You know what you have to do. So do what you have to do is the best way I always say is do what you have to do to make yourself better.
Exactly.
Okay.
Well,
We have to do.
I'm lucky I have one really good support all the time. But I also have people trying to sell me cures for my sarcoidosis too,
Don't
and I really
believe
don't
those
care for
cures.
that either.
Don't don't believe it. There's a couple of pages I'm on. I will not I will not allow, like, I'm a admin on a couple of pages. I don't allow it unless it's from either FSR or Sarcoidosis News, which is regulated now by FSR, or
Hmm.
there's a Sarcoidosis UK that is really good, and they have a lot of ideas. But they have, or it's like Cleveland Clinic, of course, and other major hospitals. Other than that, a person's, like, I mean, Kathleen can vouch. We saw somebody who said that papaya was saved her from sarcoidosis. Now, if you believe that one, I got a bridge to
That's
sell.
a fruit, isn't it?
So,
Yeah. Yeah,
but
they said
you,
high. Yeah, they
yeah,
said high doses of papaya, but if you're allergic to latex, you can't eat papaya. So I was like,
Wow.
well, that's not going to do me any good. Thank God I looked into it, because
Right.
otherwise I could be dead.
Yeah.
Which,
Hey,
So what?
Frank, I have one more question. You know how they're doing all these tele appointments now
Yes.
for doctors? Isn't there a way where they could do like sarcoid tele ones? You know how I'm having so much trouble upstate with the sarcoid.
Well, it's
Doctors.
hard to. You have to get doctors that are going to be able to have time for that, because most of the sarcoidosis doctors are Indian. There's not that many of them, so they're all inundated with a lot of patients. So to get them to do a teleconference is hard. They do some for Foundation for Sarcoidosis Research for their meetings and stuff like that. We are still. I'm actually working with FSR right now to see if we can get some of the doctors to call in and to be part of this.
Yeah.
I'm still
Please.
working on that, but it's not easy, because they are. I mean, most of the really good sarcoidosis doctors have well over 100 plus patients a day, per them. So it's really hard to find time for them to actually come in and sit in. It's
Yeah,
part of it.
and to piggyback off of what he's saying, Dr. James was supposed to be in one of our April meetings, but because he's on the front line, MUSC is a hot spot for COVID right now in the state of South Carolina. And that's the hospital that he works at. And he's the sarcoidosis specialist basically in the whole entire state. So it's a lot of people that go and see him. And not only with him being on the front line, and then him being one of the only specialists in South Carolina that's actually being able to be seen, that actually sees patients, it's hard. He pushed our appointment. Yeah, he moved my appointment. And so, it's after all trying to get a doctor right now is like trying to find a needle in a haystack. So, it's just one of those things, we're going to have to maneuver the best we can. If we have a doctor that's well versed in what sarcoidosis is and how we can treat and how we can do this and how we can do that, great. But to get them on here, it's like pulling teeth out of a dog. Sometimes it just ain't happening.
Yeah, right now with this going on, like you said, everybody's like full force working on COVID right now. They're not, they don't not to say they don't have time. They are trying to make time for us as best as possible.
Right.
They're also part of the hospitals that they work at, so they also have to work in that. And I know there's a lot of doctors that are sarcoidosis specialists that are actually on the front lines. So we have to.
They're overextended.
Yeah. So I know they're trying, and that's why I will never badmouth. You won't hear me badmouthing any of the doctors right now. So we just so we kind of have to, that's why we have each other. That's the best way I could say it. Is if you do have any questions, like I said, there's a bunch of us here. I do want to say hi to Regina. Hi, Regina. You there?
Yeah,
I think
I'm
she.
here.
Oh, she is. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Can you just say hi to everybody? We have at least one new person here today, so if you can introduce yourself.
Hello, everybody. I am Regina. I am one of the foundation's patient navigators for the Foundation of Sarcoidosis Research. I was diagnosed in 1994. I have my own support group here in Fort Wayne, Midwesterner. And today I'm tired. The last couple of days, I have been talking with one of the ladies that's in my support group, and she is dealing with the COVID-19 pneumonia right now. And so when she has time, she texts me. She's just letting me know every step of the way what's going on with her. They said she has at least 5 to 7 days to find out if she'll have to be admitted into the hospital. So, and my dog killed a cat yesterday. So,
And Regina, are you talking about Rhonda?
no, this is somebody right here in my own hometown.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
I
yeah,
hope.
I've not had much sleep in the last couple of days.
Sorry, Regina.
Yeah.
Well,
But I did have my test and I tested negative. I was real scared because of the way they code stuff and how they do things, but I did test negative. So,
no, good. That's good.
yeah.
Juanita, just, if you have a chance, can you just give us like a 1 minute?
1 minute. Yeah, I'm Juanita. I have sarcoidosis. I've been sure of it since 2015 and probably have evidence of it. I talked to my rheumatologist this morning. She was saying, your lungs are scarred. Yeah. She says no from a long time. So that's where I am right now.
Okay. Well, thank you for coming. And all right. Right now, I did mute pretty much everybody here, I think. So I'm going to unmute you guys a little bit so you guys can talk a little.
Okay. Excuse me. Did you just say you're cured? What's her name, Regina?
No, she said that
No,
Regina said that.
Posted. Good Lord. I got my test results back and I'm negative. So
okay.
I've been real sick lately. So there was a chance in my town to get a free test done. So I took advantage of it because I just was wanting to know, what's going on.
Of course. Right.
So,
well, I'm glad
They've
you
actually
tested negative.
they set up sites in my state, also in my city. There are several sites just within my city alone. There are about 4 that are doing free testing, and stuff like that. All you have to do is show up. You don't have to pay for it. They said 4 days you'll have your results. And they started on, I want to say Saturday. So people should be getting results and stuff soon, and everything like that. The only thing I'm afraid of is a whole lot more people being diagnosed. Like, that's the scariest part.
That's what happened here. That's what happened here in New York.
Yeah, like that's the scary part. But I can appreciate the fact that people are wanting to get tested and they have the opportunity to. I'm quarantined. I'm isolated. I haven't been around anybody, so I'm not gonna waste the test on myself. Just in case somebody actually needs it. But at the same time, it's like, do I go get tested?
Yeah, sorry to cut you off, Chasta.
You're fine.
The reason why I decided to go ahead and get tested because I live alone and I have to go out and do my own shopping. I have to do this, have to do that. I really don't have any family members that are around here to help me out. So I have to be independent for myself. And now that because I have to get out, I'm like, hey, I might as well get tested. So that was the only reason why I did it, is because of that. And besides, I'm ready to go see my grandbaby. Literally,
I understand that.
Huh?
I understand that. How old is she?
I have a 19-year-old and I have a 3-year-old. They're both sisters.
Oh, okay. I understand that with the grands. I miss mine too. They're coming for the summer, hopefully, and to drive me crazy. They're little.
Well, the thing is, she lives right around the corner from me.
Oh, mine's live in Maryland.
Yeah, and her mom is not doing all that great. Her mom suffers seizures a lot, so a lot of my family members depend on me to do stuff because I'm the only one here with a vehicle. So my mom depends on me. She's a diabetic. I have to go run errands for her. Sometimes I'll run errands for my daughter, but I try to always do it when I'm already out. And that's the reason for getting that test done, because of that. But I'm still nervous because just because I tested negative here, it doesn't mean I won't get it later on. You know what I mean? Because we're so high risk. So.
And they said in the fall it's going to come back even stronger with the flu season and everything. So that's even going to be worse for all of us.
Yeah,
You have to be
scary.
careful.
I was just on a webinar earlier today where they talked about the COVID, and I watched this video that they asked us to watch, and they have like how we get started, and they talked about the five phases and blah 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 blah. But when you think about it, it's not going to work that way. It's called the pandemic resistance. It's on the YouTube. I might post it.
Oh, really?
In the
Okay.
I should post it in chat room, but it's a really interesting. It's about 13 minutes. It's really worth the watch. I'm telling you, it's worth the watch. And they're talking about how they are trying to help with, the spread of the condition. So, and it's almost really, it's supposed to be between now and the end of the year, but I'm gonna tell you what, the way that it was done, or how they talked about how they want it done, I honestly don't think it's going to work if people don't do their part in helping to contain the condition. I'm telling you, yesterday I went out to Lowe's. I need a screen door for a back door. And I went to Lowe's, and I'll tell you what, everybody I ran into, nobody had a mask. Nobody had a mask on.
You know
Then
what?
I
I got
went
my
inside the
prescription
store.
delivered, and the guy didn't have a mask on his face.
Huh?
I had a prescription delivered today. Hello?
I'm here.
Yes.
And it was from FedEx, from Wegmans. I opened up the door like a stupid when the doorbell rang. And my door is broken around the hinges part of it. And the FedEx guy had the mask lower on his cheek. He handed me, I didn't want him, I was trying to tell him to put it down. He opened up the door and he said, "Be safe." His breath reached my face.
See?
That is a
Anyway,
FedEx. They should be wearing masks. He shouldn't be wearing it under his cheek.
Well, I'll tell you what, when I have a mailbox that dips right into my house, and I put a big basket right there so that it'll catch my mail. That mail will sit for at least 2 days before I decide I want to look at it. I'm sorry, Frank, I see you left.
What do you mean? It's right in your door?
No, I'm
Yeah, I have
laughing.
a mailbox that goes right into my house.
I'm
So they
laughing
just
because
have to
my wife
slip.
sprays it with Lysol.
Yeah. Well, see, I don't have any Lysol spray. You can't find any, but I let it sit in that basket for at least 2 days before I decide to touch it, because I'm not trying to, because our mailman doesn't wear a mask either. It could be one of those people out there, well, I don't give a hoot about this or a hoot about that.
Right.
Sorry, buddy.
Or gloves. He don't wear gloves either?
No, he does not.
Wow.
The best way you can do is you have to take care of yourself.
Yeah.
Because
Right.
nobody else is going to take care of you except for yourself. So
Right.
I know, to me, Wendy, I know it was, by kind of like a reaction to go answer the door. We don't answer the door. We let them leave it, and then my wife won't even let me touch it. And spray it down, and she sprays everything down. But she also has a basket. If my daughter goes to
That's the first time I've done that. It was a weird thing.
Yeah, it happens. But then the first thing you make sure you do is you wash up. That's the first thing you do.
You know what I did? I took disinfectant and I sprayed my whole face.
Oh, you didn't have to do that bad. If you wash it off, you're okay. Because that stuff could actually. You have to remember, it's poison. Don't listen to what the
Right.
say. Don't ingest that stuff.
Oh no.
Sorry, I had to say
it. I'll tell you what, though, one day I actually had my mask on. I bought this new mask that says Sarcoidosis on it, and it says Sarcoidosis Fighter with some boxing gloves. So I actually went into Kroger's. I had that mask on, and I found a pair of purple dish gloves that are cotton lined that I wear when I go to the grocery store because I'm sorry, I'm not touching a lot of stuff. You know, I'm already a nervous person anyway. So, but yesterday,
Don't
to
blame
make
you.
my long story short, when I went into Lowe's, Lowe's usually have sanitized carts as soon as you walk in there. And there was not one cart in there. And so there was a guy who was getting ready to leave. And he said, well, you can have my cart. I said, sir, I'm not going to take your cart because it's no longer sanitized. That guy went around to the store, found some sanitation stuff and a cloth, cleaned the cart completely down for me so that I can actually put my hands on the rails. And then as I was getting ready to leave, and he didn't have a mask on. After I was getting ready to leave, he put his hand on my shoulder and he prayed for me. So I'm like, okay, but you didn't have a mask. No, his whole family did not have a mask. So I'm sorry, I'm real anal. I got about 4 or 5 masks around here, and every time I go out my house, even when I go gardening, I have it on. So
Hey, I don't blame you.
So that's how we are here. We all have I live with my in-laws, and we have a 9-year-old who lives with us. That's actually my sister-in-law. I have a 9-year-old sister-in-law. That whenever we leave the house, we all have our Ziploc baggie with our surgical mask in it that we grab with our name on it before we leave.
Yeah. Like I said, the best thing we can do is check ourselves, because as you can see on TV and everywhere else, that they're not protecting themselves, and they're not thinking about anybody else. So the best thing to do is protect yourselves, and that's the best way I could describe it, because you know, unfortunately, not enough people are adhering to what it should be. So, but did anybody else have anything they wanted to talk about today?
No, no, I have a question. With the COVID and the sarcoid, what was your first symptoms? I've been feeling okay, but my neck is starting to hurt me, and I want to know, did anybody have any real bad aches and pains, or
Yeah, I mean, you do
you
get
know?
aches. You do get aches and pains. I'll speak for myself here.
Mhm.
I'm gonna mute so I don't get the background for a minute. All right. Yeah. So for me, it actually started. I noticed that I was actually getting headaches really bad, and I was getting a lot of and I have a lot of stomach pains, but not to the I mean, I have IBS, but what was happening to me was definitely not the usual. And then I run a very low temperature. I'm usually around the 96 temperature wise, and I was up. Oh, I was at over 100, and that for me is like for somebody else being 102 above. So, then I was getting all the other things. I had the sore throat. I was having trouble swallowing. Then I was getting odd things that they're just acknowledging now. Like I ended up with this really bad rash all over my body. And I mean, I have skin sark, but this was not skin sark. I could tell the difference. And then I was having problems. My eyes, they were watering, and my right eye is red. And that's one of the things that's still actually bothering me, is my eyes and my lungs is still bothering me. But so I was getting a lot of different things that people were not getting before that. So it's kind of funny, because now I look at the listing of it, what everybody, what they're adding on, and I'm like, I already had that. I was already telling the doctor I had that. I was so, but it's, for me, I knew it was different than, I knew it was different than sarcoidosis. I could definitely tell it was different. The fatigue I was feeling was, I'm always tired with sarcoidosis, but I was sleeping for 8 hours during the day. And like my wife was talking to me, and I was out all of a sudden, right in the middle of a conversation. I fell asleep on her. So that's how I knew. And my doctors knew right away, even before I took the test. So, but yeah, but some people are different. Some people don't even know they have it. And then there's others that just get one little thing from it. And then of course there's others that get it really, really bad. So, okay. But so it's different for each person. I was one of the, actually I was the fourth person at the place when it first opened. I had to call it. You had to call in to get an appointment, and I was the fourth person to go through this. It was an outside one by us on Long Island here with Stony Brook University, which is actually one of the biggest COVID for all of Long Island at this point. And they had an outside stop. I called it Stop and Shop there because they did it right there outside there. And but unfortunately, because I was one of the first ones, it took forever for me to get my results back. Kathleen couldn't vouch for that one. So, but other than that, any other questions? Oh, and bye, Chester. But other than that, does anybody else had anything they wanted to talk about?
No, just that.
Yeah.
Hello?
So, but
Frank, I think it's just me and you now.
no,
Hey,
can you hear me? Oh, hello?
I'm
Yes,
still
I hear
here.
you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, a lot of people just muted themselves. So, but Debbie, did you want to say something?
can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so the sarcoidosis is in my lungs. I have like the lymph nodes. Now, I think I should get tested for the rest of my organs. I request. How did you find out you had other parts of your body you had sarcoidosis?
Well, there's different tests for this. You could take get MRIs. You could get CT scans. The foolproof way is a PET scan. That'll really show how much, where, and how much you have it in what areas, because your body will light up. It won't say exactly sarcoidosis, but it'll tell you if you have some part, whatever part of your body is affected by something, and that's where they usually start off with. My doctors actually told me not to get them anymore because here's and I kind of believe this. What one of my doctors said is that odds are because I have it in, like I said, I have it in almost every part of my body except for it. It is not active in my kidneys and it's not active in my liver. Whether I have it there or not is a whole different story, and my doctors probably think I do. But why even find out if it's not bothering me, and if it's not affecting my my numbers when I take my blood tests, and it's not affecting my body in any way. Why worry about it at this point? We don't. So why try to? Just because it's there doesn't mean it's active. That's one of the big things you have to realize. Like before I got corona, my lungs were actually one of the best parts of my body, and that's when the first place I got diagnosed. But it was one of the best places I had it. I mean, I was doing my pulmonary function tests were amazing. My blood never went. I mean, my oxygen level never went under 95. So I was doing great. And unfortunately now, because of this, it's kind of messed it up. It probably activated it more. But and so I really didn't have to worry. I wasn't really taking anything for the lungs at this point. So, but so when you do a PET scan, or if you do, if you really want to find out where it is active, make sure that it is not affecting you, whether it's pain or if it's affecting your numbers. You really, because you got to also remember, with every medication you take, there's side effects. And so if you say you think you have it there, you have it in your, say you think you have it in your bones, but your bones aren't hurting you. Well, why check it? First of all, you really don't want to find out, because it's not a fun test. Kathleen shaking her head, she knows. I mean, they actually have to stick a needle into your bones to find out. It is not fun. Not one bit fun. So I would not.
Spinal tap?
I done a spinal tap. No, this is actually put it into your bone.
Wow.
No, not into your spine. Yeah, it goes right into your bone.
Yeah, and so it's a big needle.
Yeah.
And it hurts like the dickens.
That's like a drill. So they have to that's like a drill.
Yeah, the big needle goes right into you. Yeah, not fun.
It's nasty.
Yeah, I've had it done. So my doctor actually told all my other doctors stop. They told them to stop looking to see where it is. We know he has it. So let's treat the symptoms, because we're never gonna treat sarcoidosis. So all we're doing, we are treating the symptoms. So if my bones are hurting me, then we'll treat it. But if it's not hurting me, stop treating it. So all right.
Leave well enough alone.
Frank,
in other words.
Frank, what if it's hurting just a little?
Can
you let it go?
That's a good question, because really up to you at this point. It matters what you mean. Like what part of your body are you talking about? Like if it's a major organ, like it's hurting a little in my lungs, I want my lungs checked. You need your lungs to live. You need your heart to live.
Right.
You need your liver and kidneys to live. There's major organs in your body but like if you have a little bit of arthritis, can you get away with it? That's up to you.
Yeah.
You have to know your own pain levels. I can't tell you what you can take and what you can't take. But I mean, everybody laughs. Like when a normal person, they're like, they tell me, how do you feel today? I'm like, well, my pain level's a 7, but I'm okay today. Actually, that's good for me.
Right.
So, but that's up to you. I can't tell you whether you're going to be able to handle it or not. But like I said, if it's a major organ, any little bit, like your heart, of course, your lungs, of course, like I said, the liver, kidneys, you need those to live.
Right.
And it's also really dependent upon you and your doctor. So you really need to be speaking to that doctor and be straightforward with them on what is bothering you. So.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm just afraid if I tell them like something's bothering me, they'll like try to switch me from mycophenolate to methotrexate, whatever it's called. They wanna.
Well, they could still do that, but they'll have reasons for doing that though, if they're gonna change it. But if you're not telling them, I would even tell them this hurts a little bit, but so far I'm able to handle it, or like this is hurting me a little bit. What do you think we should do about it? Just so they know, because if you all of a sudden go and say, well, this has been hurting me for 5 months, and they're going to be like, why didn't you tell me that 5 months ago?
Right.
Well, that's making me feel guilty, because I'm trying to get down on my prednisone, okay? Because it really was destroying my body. And I know we've been going through this, but I was getting lesions on my body really bad. It was taking away my skin. And so I didn't care. They didn't want me to go lower. I lowered it by myself a little bit. Mm-hmm. Then they call me and tell me to lower it. because it was destroying my body.
Yeah, you really have
Prednisone
to
was
have.
attacking me.
Yeah, and I get that. We all do. How bad prednisone is and how it's literally hurting us. It really, you really need to have that conversation. None of us should be going off of prednisone or dropping prednisone without speaking to the doctor, or any of our medications. You know, I'm in extreme pain right now, and I reached out to my neurologist today because just everything hurt, every bone, every hip joint. You got to see me walking around here. It almost looks like I'm an old lady with a walker. Um, you know, I'm not going to up my dosage without speaking to the doctor. So I sent her, you know, an email, and she did get back to me with possible dosages during the day as well as upping it during night. But again, I mean, I'm already at 900 milligrams. I wasn't sure where I could go beyond that. So you, again, really, really speak to your doctor. None of us should be taking it, you know.
900 milligrams of prednisone.
No. 900 milligrams of gabapentin, which is Neurontin,
Oh,
which is
okay.
for the neurological, because I'm in such pain at this point. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm not eating because I'm in pain. I'm not sleeping because I'm in pain, etc. So you really need to reach out to that doctor. You know, we were talking before that a lot of the doctors are not available. If you're already an established patient, they should be available for you, or somebody that is covering for them. That's mandated by law. Okay. Does that mean that they're going to get back to you today? No. It could be up to 2 to 3 days, depending on if it's a weekend or what time you emailed them or called or etc. But we all really still need to be in contact with our doctors, even if it's by phone or by email. You know, just really everybody concentrate on that, and you know, we got to get through this, because we're not going to be, you know, given new medications or given new tests or a PET scan or a CAT scan or anything like that for a long time. I mean, think about
Well,
it.
actually, I was told that I am supposed to go in 3.5 weeks to have for an emergency to check up and you know, have a MRI done of my spine and my brain.
Okay, well then, if that's what the doctor absolutely wants,
because the New York State is going to do emergency visits.
yeah,
Yeah,
and again,
up by where you are, Wendy, they are actually loosening it up quicker than where we are on Long Island, because of how many people we have that have been,
Yeah, right.
you know,
Yeah.
diagnosed.
Yes, yes, you're right. I'm sorry.
again, Wendy, just really go with your doctor and really stay in contact with them, you know, because that's the only way that you're going to see some relief. And please realize, I mean, I've felt, you can ask Frank, I have in the past, I guess since January, no, actually before then, right, Frank? Because we were running around like two chickens
Yep.
without a head. I was feeling great. I mean, I really was. Every time Frank, oh yeah, I got it. You know, it's about a 6 today, a 7 today. You know, we're all used to a pain level of 15 to 20. And, you know, when we get to 20 is when we want to curl up and go into a ball and possibly go to the hospital, etc. But realize you're strong. You're stronger than you think you are. And, you know, you all have to remember that. And when you don't feel strong, reach out to one of us, you know, reach out to Dorothy, reach out to Debbie or Juanita or Frank or myself or Regina. You know, that's the only way or James, Greg. I'm not sure about Greg yet. I'll get him on Facebook eventually. So, you know, it's the only way we can survive, you know, this horrible disease, to be 100% honest with you. But I was feeling wonderful, and all of a sudden, for no reason, I mean, I've been home. I've been home since February 25th, as I had just mentioned to Frank, and all of a sudden, bam, I went down like a lead balloon. You know, it seemed like Frank got better, and okay, Frank, you're better. My body can go to hell now. It's your fault, Frank.
Yep.
Just letting you know that in advance.
Yeah, but Kathy, you were doing a lot.
I was, but you know, with everything that I do, I know that I pay, but I'm paying too much at this point. The toll booth has quadrupled in price for me. And Regina's shaking her head, Wendy, just so you know, and Frank is too, because you know, and Juanita is as well. So, you know, we go through these things that is just, we can't even imagine coming out the other side. And it's not because I did gardening. Realize I have two men in the house as well that are home, so they do the bulk of it. I'm not doing it by myself,
Mhm.
you know, but you know, I'm sure Caprice feels the same way. There's days where we just don't even want to get out of bed, and I'm at that level right now. I didn't even get dressed today, guys. I'm still in my PJs. I brushed my teeth. Okay,
Mhm.
that's as far as I went today. I washed my
Okay,
face.
well, if that's how you feel, hey, go for it. But you know what? I'm so sorry for y'all pain, but I have to say I have not experienced any of anything that y'all experienced. And I mean, I'm so sorry for y'all, and thank God for me. But I mean, when I first got it, before I was diagnosed, I couldn't even move a finger without pain shooting all through me. I mean, I went to the hospital one time, and they gave me I still it comes in my head and shoots out. What's that what they give, what they used to give in Vietnam, to numb the pain. Oh God,
Morphine? Was
yeah,
it
morphine.
morphine?
They gave me, yes, thank you. They gave me morphine, but I still felt the pain. I still felt it. It wasn't as bad. I mean, I couldn't even go to work. I was on my way to work, and I had to call somebody to take me to the hospital because I for a whole week, pain. I went to work with pain shooting through me, and I couldn't take it no more. And I mean, I was sitting in the parking lot at my job before to get myself together to get out to go catch the bus to my facility. And I couldn't take it no more. For that Friday, I couldn't take it. I went to the hospital and they gave me morphine, and I still felt it. And that's the only pain I've experienced. And then
Oops.
my mouth got so dry, it was like someone just poured dirt in my mouth. And I mean, no matter how much water I drank, my mouth just wouldn't get moist until I finally went to the I changed doctors. And the doctor told me that it sounded like I had sarcoid because I told him my mother had it. And then I went to a sarcoid doctor and he gave me prednisone, and that just cleared up everything. But like
I'm
I
glad
said,
that
I'm
worked out
not
for you.
feeling you. I'm glad too. I mean, I lost so much weight. I mean, and my mother was telling me, you have sarcoid, you have sarcoid. I'm telling you. And I was like, no, I don't have it. I mean, I was like a size 18. I went down to by the time I got to the hospital, I was a size 8. I mean,
Well,
and then I lost my appetite. I couldn't eat. I would be hungry, but I would taste one thing, and then my appetite would just go away. Other than that, that's the only pain I've experienced is in the totally beginning.
well, the one thing, like Kathleen was saying, is that the good thing is that we all been through something different. So
Mhm.
we could all, we all have different things that we could talk about and help each other with.
Right.
And
Right.
I'm sure, there's something, even though that I have it, in so many parts of my body, there's still a lot of things I'm learning.
Mm.
I'm sure not a know-it-all when it comes to sarcoidosis, but I try to learn as much as I can, but I'm never going to be a know-it-all. There's just too much to know about this disease, and not
Mhm.
enough, too much to know and not enough information. So,
That's
but
okay. Well, you know enough to help me.
yeah, well, but I mean, there are people that have helped me, whether it be like Shasta, she was Shasta, Trina were one of the first two people that I reached out to. And then there was
Mhm.
another lady that passed away, unfortunately.
Mm.
We called her Ladybug.
Mm.
Andrea Timmons. She actually was the very first person. But I learned from them, and I'm hoping that I can help others. Um, do the same thing. And then and it's great the best thing, this is another thing, how you guys, and, I'm not putting I don't like to put myself out there as up on a pedestal, but you know how you guys talk about, you learn from me, but you know what? Each one of you now is actually going down, and it makes me so much happier to see how much you guys are influencing other people and helping other people, whether you're new, whether you've been at it for a while. It's so nice because literally I didn't have many people. I didn't have many people to talk to. And it's so much nicer to go on FSR's web page and look at all these ambassadors, and it's so much nicer to look, on groups and talk to all these other people. These groups were not around 9 years ago, and so it is so much, and not just because it makes it easier for me. It's just also because it makes, I feel alone too. Don't think I don't. And there are times I do, but I know I can reach out to people now, and that's what makes this the best thing. And that having these meetings now is just making it even better because it's bringing new people into here, like having Greg here, having James here, having Debbie part of this group now. Wendy joined us because of this group. It's great. And I just love the fact that we could actually talk about it and have different opinions about it. And so, but yeah, I know we have 3 minutes left. Does anybody have any final things they wanted to talk about before we do get going?
No,
Frank,
no,
Frank,
Go ahead, Wendy.
I would like to say that it was really nice having that doctor talk 2 weeks ago when I was listening. I hope you get that again.
Oh, we will. We will have more. She actually, I've talked to her after this a couple of times now. She loved it. So hopefully she will be back. But we are working on others. Like I said,
Do we have to pay for her to the organization? Or
no,
they just...
She donated her own time. So that's what makes,
Wow.
That's why we can't, we don't push. We don't have the money here right now to be paying doctors to come and speak. If we did, I would love to. But right now, my organization is suffering just as much as everybody else is. I had one of our biggest money gainers for us was our walk. We couldn't have it. So we're just. But just because we don't have the money, we do have the resources of the people. So that's what would make it the best we can with that. So, but yeah, other than that, I know Caprice, you wanted to say something really quick.
No, I didn't have nothing to say. I'm listening.
Okay. But anybody else want to say anything before we get going? Greg, I thank you for coming, by the way. I hope you do come back.
Yeah, I'll be back.
Yeah, each one is different. We talk about all different things. That's something, whatever anybody wants to talk about, it stays in here. We do record it, and it gets put on. It'll only be put on our Facebook page, the National Online Support Group page. It'll only be put on there.
Remember that page.
All right, it'll only be put on there because that page is closed. So only those members can see it. So if you say stuff, I don't want you to feel uncomfortable because it'll be going out to everybody. No, this is staying within the page also. At first I was going to give it to everybody, but then I'm like, no, wait a minute. If you're talking and being open about things, I don't want everybody, to feel uncomfortable and not be able to speak. Okay. But other than that, I do thank you all for coming. I did add another day. I put it up on my page about it, the 26th. That's a Tuesday. I added an extra day there. So we have one. The next one, it's the 21st. That's a Thursday. And it's all the times they're always 7 to 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. So the 21st and then the 26th is the last one. I'm going to try to keep on doing 3 during these times because I know it is hard. I know, and it's getting I know I'm getting lonely. I'm sure my wife is ready to try to kick me out of the house. And thank you guys once again. And if you have any questions, you could always contact us. We're on that page. You could just go on my Facebook page. If you need my email, message me and I give it out. No problem. All right. Thanks again. And I will see you
All right.
on
Thank
Thursday,
you.
21st.
Thank you very much. Everybody stay safe.
Thanks, Frank.
Be
Yeah,
safe.
stay
Bye,
safe.
everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Have a good night.
Too.